Hello and welcome. This is Nationwide. We are live in Abuja. Of course, we'll be taking you around the world and here in Nigeria from New York, also to our different various zonal centers and also in the world of sports. But first, we'll begin with Vice President Kashim Shettima, who has played host to the President of Namibia, Nandi Ndaitwah, on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, where both leaders engaged in bilateral talks, with the Namibian leader announcing her planned official visit to Nigeria. The vice president in a high-level session also met with a delegation from the Gates Foundation, led by the CEO, Mark Sussman. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
The Namibian leader, who assumed office March 21, 2025, commended Nigeria's diplomats for their invaluable contributions to her government and country. Acknowledging Nigeria's leadership role among Africa member states, she found it appropriate to leverage on the Onga opportunity to meet with Vice President Kashim Shettima to establish more mutual ties. Vice President Kashim Shettima reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to deepening bilateral relations with Namibia, saying Nigeria-Namibia relationship should be taken to the next level. In a separate high-level session, Vice President Kashim Shettima met with a delegation from the Gates Foundation, appreciating the foundation for its support in healthcare, agriculture, and financial inclusion, while calling for expanded investment in Nigeria.
Now we have crossed the Rubicon. We are on an upward trajectory. For last quarter, the economy grew by 4.3%. We are expecting that in the next 2 years we will hit 7%. We have no option than to grow. And now our foreign reserves has hit $42 billion. It's still little for a nation of Nigeria's stature, but it's still better than why we made it. There's a lot of agitation within the nation because of the fallouts of our economic policy. But it's a maturation process. It's a price that we all have to pay for the nation to be stabilized.
We have some specific aspirations to really scale up the Kabame's domestic seed production in Nigeria and ultimately have it wholly domestically produced at a much lower cost. And then also wanted to make sure we touched on some of our broader work supporting your investments in human capital, that's both in education and in health more broadly. As you've heard from Mr. Gates, and I know you yourself have been helping drive a human capital development strategy. We think those are the most essential investments in the citizens of Nigeria.
What I wanted to now put to the table to the Gates Foundation is your
Nigeria's Minister of Education appealed for greater Gates Foundation support in education, especially in the areas of technology and artificial intelligence. The Gates Foundation has signed a new grant with the Central Bank of Nigeria to support related initiatives, saying Nigeria is one of the foundation's strongest partners on the African continent. From New York, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The federal government has signed a landmark Memorandum of Understanding MOU with Dalil United Arab Emirates UAE to deploy advanced cargo information ACI systems across Nigerian airports. This agreement aims to reposition Nigeria as a leading aviation and logistics hub in Africa. Signing the document on behalf of the federal government, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, says the system will strengthen aviation security, streamline cargo processing, facilitate international trade, and boost Nigeria's position as a regional logistics hub. He further stated that implementation will begin with feasibility studies in October 2025, followed by a nationwide rollout in the third quarter of 2026. The minister emphasized that the partnership also seeks to build resilience, efficiency, and competitiveness in Nigeria's aviation sector, leveraging cutting-edge innovation to drive trade and also facilitate revenue growth. Okay, after we're going to talk about the CBN story, but before we talk about the CBN story, the federal government has flagged off the construction of the Urukum flyover bridge in Benue State to ease traffic congestion and improve transportation within Makudi. Blessing Omeche Ebute reports that it symbolizes government's commitment to enhance infrastructure and urban development.
In what has been described as a landmark legacy, the ongoing construction of the Urukum flyover bridge holds significant meaning for the Benue people as it symbolizes progress, development, and improved infrastructure. For others, the project reflects the government's commitment to improving the quality of life for the residents of Benue State.
The location of the flyover is very strategic because this is a place where we used to have so much traffic problems here.
We thank God for this is the first flyover in Benue State. It's very appreciative.
Minister of Works Dave Umahi, who flagged off the project a week ago, disclosed that the construction of the Urukum flyover is a strategic initiative designed to facilitate smoother traffic flow, reduce travel time, and enhance safety for commuters.
This project alone is going to be a catalyst for the economic, revolution in both Benue State, Enugu State, and the entire regions.
Makedi holds a very pivotal base of the nation generally. Then, as the food basket of the nation, we have a lot to give to the nation. But then the road became quite impassable, and we experience a lot of post-harvest wastes. This is going to break that off.
Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia thanked the federal government for prioritizing infrastructural projects, describing the road dualization as a game changer that would enhance trade, agriculture, and connectivity. In Makudi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
The National Judicial Institute is partnering the Institutes for Legislative and Democratic Studies in addressing the challenges facing the country through the application of social justice. The administrator of the National Judicial Institute, Justice Babatunde Adeniro Adejumo, has in this light visited the NILDS headquarters in Abuja for discussions. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
This engagement is to promote synergy between the two institutes in deepening good governance and democratic practice. NIL's Director General, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, says the three arms of government must work together to ensure good governance in the country, citing national cohesion as key for development.
Both NGI and NILs are there to strengthen the capacity of the two organs of government. And we must be seen to be working together.
We have to work together. If I know the way you do your work, it may be different a bit. If we don't do it well, the country may not be stable. Many things. We are talking of insecurity. Judges are to interpret and apply the applicable laws.
The partnership is expected to involve the Public Service Institute. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu congratulates pro-democracy activist and celebrated columnist Dr. Femi Orebe on his 80th birthday, acknowledging his immense contribution in shaping Nigeria and international politics by the pen. President Tinubu notes Orebe's incisive articles and regular interventions in public affairs, which have impacted many and helped to shape public policies, describing him as an ally and brother. The president also highlights Orebe's contributions to the knowledge through his book, Simply a Citizen Journalist, yes, which is due for public presentation soon. Dr. Orebe joins the octogenarian club with the president, wishing him more strength and continued grace of God. Now we'll go over to our Lagos Network Center, and Adeola has the next set of reports. Over to you, Adeola.
Ayadeji. As construction works continue at the Muritala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, with the aim of transforming it into a world-class aviation hub, the federal government is introducing innovations across airports in Nigeria. Hengino John Adams reports that the managing director of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, Olubumi Kuku, made this known while addressing key players in the African aviation sector in Lusaka, Zambia.
With most runways and terminals in airports across Nigeria being in existence for over 30 years, the federal government has been prioritizing safety with maintenance and overall rehabilitation, as well as resurfacing of the runways.
Lagos and Kano, two of our flagship airports, have multiple runways. In Abuja, we've been working very hard on a second runway project, which we started, being one of our busiest airports.
MD of FAN says government is also working on terminals and waste-to-power solutions, among other initiatives, to improve passenger experience.
Kano Airport in Nigeria, which is in the northern part of Nigeria. We actually did set up a team, and we're in the process of embarking on a solar energy project as well. We looked at this for other locations, and we found other solutions as best.
The modernization effort is aimed at positioning Nigeria as a competitive destination in the aviation space, attracting more passengers and investments. In Lagos, Hinginu, John Adams, NTA News.
There is no doubt about the iconic status of a Nigerian television authority, which tells it all on the screen. This is what informed it's been recognized as a distinguished media establishment at this year's NEMSIA Award Night 2025. Larry Beleyi, who captured moments of the award, reports.
For 3 consecutive editions, the tradition has been to round off its content market and conference with an award night that recognizes excellent content and their creators that captured the attention of Nigerians. The 4th NEMSIA 2025 is not an exception.
It is not just enough for you to produce and just sit down. What you are producing, how can it trend? Where can you take it to?
This award night is not a time for long speeches, but celebrating of icons and excellence of pace-setting content in the nation's media industry. Nigerian Television Authority was one of the distinguished awardees. The Zonal Director, Lagos Network Center, Evelyn Wosu, received the award on behalf of the largest television network in Africa.
For content creation, we are committed to ensuring that we give you programs that will educate you, entertain you, and inform you. Programs that will make you understand that the family can remain together as one.
Other winners in different categories say the recognition is not only affirming, but inspirational to their creative professionalism.
Creative industry is like, they say that you are as good as your last job. My team members know that I'm never satisfied. And that's what the creative content requires.
When seasoned, competent professionals actually look through what you're doing, alongside so many other people that are doing good as well, and pick yours to say this is the best, it's a huge pat on the back.
After winning this award, we are definitely going to do more.
The award night draws the curtains on the annual conference of the nation's electronic media content and awards, an innovative kernel of MQuan, providing platform for showcasing, networking, celebrating, and empowering the industry. In Lagos, Larry Beleyi, NTA News.
Service of the NTA. Welcome to Benin. Governor Monday Opeolo has been engaging foreign investors on leveraging opportunities that abound in Edo State in advancing its fortunes and growing the economy of the state. The governor, who is currently in Scotland, also assures the business community of its safety and ease of doing business in Edo State. Good luck, Enaini reports.
It is about growing the economy of the state, and with a symbiotic alignment with these foreign investors, the desired economic growth is achievable. In his address to Edo citizens in the diaspora and some investors, Governor Okpebholo says his administration is rendering the needed support for President Bola Tinubu-led federal government to providing purposeful leadership, people-friendly policies that has helped in creating an enduring environment for states like Edo to thrive.
Nigeria is very safe for investment. The economy is growing. The World Bank, the IMF, have rated us very high. The president has been able to stabilize our economy. You can see that the rate to a dollar is stable.
The governor, who believes in practical governance, said the narrative have changed when compared with the past administration. He stressed that Edo is now a safe haven for business and development partnerships.
We have renovated over 68 schools completely. The Gelegele seaport that they were making noise about, if you don't have road to Gelegele, how do you enter the seaport? That road is 36 kilometers and it's ongoing.
Many described the bold step in attracting foreign capital inflow as catalyst in advancing the economy in line with the hopes and aspirations of the people. In Benin, good luck, Enaini, NT News.
The federal government says it remains committed to the goal of transforming the country's livestock sector by boosting productivity, enhancing resilience, and unlocking new opportunities through the commercialization of livestock. National Project Coordinator of Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, LPRES, Alhaji Abubakar Sanusi, stated this while on an assessment tour of some projects initiated by the Development Project in Ondo State. Toyin Batire reports.
The places visited by the National Project Coordinator and his team were the cold chain facility at the Veterinary Hospital in Akure, Veterinary Clinic Igbaraoke, and Livestock Markets Shongo in Akure North Local Government area of the state. Expressing satisfaction with the level of work done at the sites, the National Coordinator noted that the project is the implementation support mission of the National Coordination Officer of LPRES, which comprises Ondo, Ekiti, Edo, Oyo, and Kwara states.
Our sincere apologies as we have to disconnect with our Benin Network Center. But Nationwide continues here with me in Abuja. From Abuja, let's take you back to the southeast, where the decision by the Anambra State government to check the exploitation of parents in schools by banning writing of assignments inside textbooks is receiving commendations from citizens. Chinyere Fesi Okoye reports.
Assignments should be expunged from regular textbooks so as to enable other siblings of a child coming behind them to use the same book, because things are hard and parents cannot continue to buy books like that.
Findings revealed that take-home assignments inside textbooks by pupils and students came with a lot of issues, ranging from what many describe as economic waste.
It's a welcome development, and I must tell you that is highly commendable. When I was a student, I used the textbook used by my father.
To this end, other respondents say the recent move by the Anambra State government to ban writing of assignments inside textbooks is a step in the right direction.
I will say government should go beyond that. Not literally only making a pronouncement, but then making it a policy.
This exercise has made teachers so lazy. It's because those things that they give to the children to take home, sometimes they've not been taught.
If they are serious, it's very important. People use every opportunity to extort money from parents.
In Anambra State, we have special numbers given to parents, given to the public. If you see something, you say something. And once you say something, we spring into actions and curb excesses that is bearing the society down.
This directive, parents stress, should apply across board in all textbooks and subjects to help parents and guidance. In Awka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
Now, let's remain in Awka with Chinyere. And Chinyere, it will be interesting to know how will these curb exploitation by the teachers and also improve access to knowledge by the pupils and students, as the case may be.
Thank you, Ayodeji, for joining us in Awka on the implementation of the ban of writing assignments inside textbooks in Anambra State. A visit to some private, mission and public schools revealed about 70% compliance to the order. Upon resumption of this current academic section, most schools, I gathered, called teachers for a meeting and issued the directive, especially on core subjects, English, mathematics, and Igbo language. As of today, I can authoritatively tell you that all assignments in these subjects are no longer done inside textbooks. Rather, they have exercise books where students and pupils are meant to write the assignments. However, information from the Ministry of Education has it that there are no exceptions to the pronouncement. It has to be across all subjects, including literature subjects, because it has been observed that authors and publishers put questions and columns for answers, even in some novels, thereby subjecting parents to keep buying textbooks. Also, to achieve compliance, the Commissioner for Education stated that aside contact numbers already made available to parents in various platforms, they have community quality assurance team to monitor schools' adherence. And I must tell you that it is actually yielding the desired result as at the moment.
Way to go, Chinyere, there in Awka on this decision that we expect will really improve access to education, particularly for those who are in primary and secondary schools. Thanks so much for your contribution, Chinyere.
Thank you, Ayodeji.
Elsewhere, a revised policy framework, a national action plan for preventing and countering violent extremism, PCVE, has been unveiled at a validation workshop in Abuja. This is as the federal government takes further steps in the fight against terrorism with a renewed focus on prevention, human rights and community resilience. National Coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Adamulaka, says the new framework will guide Nigeria's efforts and emphasized that military responses alone are not enough, highlighting the importance of youth empowerment, gender inclusion and grassroots engagement.
Reviewing a document. It is about endorsing a shared vision that will guide our preventing and countering violent extremism efforts until the next review circle. This is the stage where we confirm that the policy reflects our national priorities while meeting the highest international standards.
Let me reaffirm the European Union's resolute commitment to supporting the government of Nigeria in promoting peace and security, fostering social cohesion, and building resilience for all citizens.
The workshop, supported by the EU and Hidayah International Center, marks a pivotal moment in the counter-terrorism strategy, one that aims to build peace by confronting the root causes of extremism. The Institute of Security and Forensic Studies is commemorating the International Peace Day with the introduction of some practitioners who are equipped with knowledge, skills and expertise to combat these threats. Deborah Balagbobo reports that this year's theme, Effects of Border Screening Using Forensic Tools in Modern Society, hopes to contribute to peace and development of the nation.
The summit, at the instance of the Advanced Peace and Reconciliation Center of Nigeria and the Institute of Security and Forensic Studies, aims to honor the idea of peace and reflect on the collective commitment to making it a reality. Leader of the groups believe that recognizing the value of harmony and the power of dialogue contributes to global tranquility.
So we urge them to be more professional and be proactive in intelligence information analysis.
As part of efforts to address some of the critical security issues, the Institute urged the inducted professionals to build confidence that will help promote peace and security in their immediate society.
The Institute, they not only provide professional expertise, but a platform for networking of professionals of like mind.
As a security personnel that I am, I maintain peace and order in the society. So I think coming to this particular point or elevation gives me more access to negotiate peace in warring communities.
Being in the security field is not new, so having a certification and having studied on electioneering forensic, it would take me deeper into the electioneering.
The group promised to continue to contribute their quota to peace and harmony for growth and development of the country. In Abuja, Deborah Balagobo, NT News.
From Abuja, let's take you to the northeast at the home of peace, where Abubakar in our Maiduguri Network Center has the next set of reports, particularly a story on the need to actually safeguard the climate. Over to you.
Good evening, Ayodeji, and thank you for joining us. In commemoration of the Climate Week of Action, Borno State Government, in collaboration with partners, organized an awareness campaign with the theme, every state must commit to bold, transparent, and inclusive climate policies that deliver results, reaffirming its commitment to environmental initiatives and climate resilience programs aimed at combating climate change and deforestation. Here is Tina Toro with the rest of the story.
It was a convergence of environmentalists, climate change enthusiasts, development partners, youth groups, and other stakeholders who took to the streets of Maiduguri amidst cheers, distributing tree seedlings, flyers, and sensitizing residents on the dangers of climate change and the importance of tree planting. Director General of the Borno State Agency for the Great Green Wall, Usman Aliu, said the work was an awareness drive to inspire action on climate change, desertification, and environmental protection, with a call on residents to join the movement and take responsibility for making Borno greener.
The climate change has depleted the resources, and we have minimal resources. That is why it attracts competition. And when there is a competition, definitely there's going to be conflict. And the end result of conflict is insurgency.
The Director General also expressed appreciation to Governor Babagana Umar Zulum for his unwavering commitment to making Borno State greener by supporting climate resilience initiative. Other partners commended the DG's purposeful leadership and encouraged residents to participate actively in combating climate change and desert encroachment.
It is important we invest into our future, and our future is guaranteed when we have a healthy environment.
We want to see government taking action. We want to see government increasing allocation of resources to the aspect of things that has to do with combating impact of climate change.
With the resilience of the Borno State government, the commitment of the DG Usman Aliu, support of development partners, and participation of the people, Borno State's vision of a greener and more sustainable environment will be achieved. In Maiduguri, Tina Toro, NTA News.
Away from environmental issues now to talk security, Borno State Police Command has arrested 5 suspects in connection with the theft of about 10,000 pieces of ready-to-use therapeutic food, RUTF, reportedly diverted from a government warehouse. Pauline Kujivana completes the story.
The consignment meant for pregnant women and malnourished children affected by insurgency, flooding, and climate change-induced food shortages was allegedly being transported out of the state before it was intercepted. Following the arrest, Borno State Police Command invited officials from the Ministry of Health and Human Services, the custodian of the consignment, to formally take possession of the recovered items.
I tried to siphon it out of the state
and then try to thwart the effort of the government. My call to the residents of Borno is to give us accurate information. We are still there to ensure any information we receive, we will treat it with confidentiality, and we assure protection of the informant.
The Commissioner for Health, Babu Malam Gana, commended the police for what he described as their dedication, intelligence, and swiftness in tracking the stolen nutrition aid and apprehending the culprit.
Also, using this opportunity, any of those our staff or who collaborate with them, if arrested, we will prosecute them.
He assured that measures will be put in place to strengthen security around government warehouses to prevent similar incidents and lauded the Ministry of Justice for its prompt handling of the case, stressing that swift judgments serve as deterrent to others who may attempt to undermine efforts to address malnutrition in the state. These arrests represent a boost to ongoing efforts to safeguard life-saving humanitarian supplies intended for the most vulnerable persons in Borno State. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
We're done from Maiduguri for now. Let us, at this point, return to Ayodeji in Abuja for more reports for us this evening.
Thanks so much, Abubakar, in our Maiduguri Network Center. From Abuja here, let's take you over to Kano. With misinformation spreading fast on social media, Islamic clerics in Kano are finding their teachings increasingly twisted and misinterpreted. Now, the Alkalanchi Group is stepping in, hosting a capacity-building workshop to arm the clerics with the skills to spot, counter, and correct false narratives. Fatima Sanusi Karaye reports.
In today's world, social media strongly shapes public opinion, and Islamic clerics in Kano remain central to the community. Protecting them from misinformation online is vital.
Protect themselves from being lured into passing or spreading misinformation.
The 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, represented, emphasized the importance of fact-checking and media literacy among clerics.
Ulamas do not teach falsehood, they actually teach truth.
Islamic clerics were introduced to practical tools and methods for verifying information they encounter.
They will use the tools by the grace of Almighty Allah to know how to combat what is fake and to deliver what is right.
They also encourage the public to visit the organization's website to verify information about Islamic clerics in Kano, promoting transparency and trust. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Arai, NTA News.
The National Orientation Agency, NOA, is partnering We Love Nigeria Unity and Peace Initiative to intensify campaign against internet fraud and cybercrimes. Kenneth Nani reports that the campaign is focusing on how best to discourage the trend among young people and promote legitimate means of livelihood.
Internet fraud and cybercrimes have evolved over time, and the impact on the society is huge globally. Here, voices are being amplified to change the narrative.
We had a program in Cambridge, in England, and when we landed at the airport, they look at my passport for almost 20 minutes. The man will look at the visa, he will look at the passport, he will look at it. At a stage, I say, okay, what is your problem? It's because, you know, you are a Nigerian, we need to be very sure that you are here for this program. Until I told him that, look, I came from the Economic and Financial Crime Commission. That was the only saving grace.
The get-rich-quick syndrome amongst the young people, the porous digital world, and the act of irresponsibility by some parents and adults were identified as some of the driving forces.
The man used to see as somebody who is a big boy. He has iPhone 17 and iPhone 19 Pro Max. He's very well known on Facebook and all that. He has 2 million followers. And he's your star. You find him on EFCC cell. Who wants to look ugly before the world? That's why you must avoid them.
Now emphasis is on the need to leverage efforts by government and internet alternative opportunities, including entrepreneurship, innovation, and research to make a difference.
It is important to emphasize that cybercrime carries serious consequences. Offenders face imprisonment, fines, or both. For students and young adults, the repercussion can be even more damaging.
Let us build a Nigeria where unity triumphs over division, where entrepreneurship defeats fraud, where our young people becomes the pride of the world.
Cybercrime does not put us in a safer place. Rather, it brings to the degradation of the Nigeria's economy.
There are other ways for you to make riches and money instead of participating in illegal activities.
The collaboration is also expected to permeate the messages to every sector of the economy and generate feedback for necessary actions. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The FCTA Task Force on Security has cleared a suspected kidnappers' hideout in Guzape. Director of Security Services Department, Adamu Gwari, says plans are on to deploy drone technology for surveillance and intelligence gathering. Hawa Gimba reports.
In a joint operation, the Ministerial Task Force on Security cleared a forest along the Paduma and Kobe axis on the outskirts of Asokoro and Guzape extension, suspected to have served as a hideout for kidnappers and other criminal elements. The Director of the Security Services Department of the FCTA, Adamu Gwari, represented by the Command and Control Secretary, Peter Olumuji, explained that the clearance exercise is part of ongoing efforts to deny criminals the cover of ungoverned spaces.
This is a transit route for most kidnapping activity that happen around here. You know, from here they can go to Karu, it leads them to Jikwe, it leads them to Orozo, leads them to Kurudu, and the FCT Police Commissioner have gone around all these routes to carry out recce on it, and that's why we are here to clear these places. And after the clearance, there's going to be a police post mounted there 24 hours.
Been informed by the representative of the village chief that they are in support of our action, that they are going to cooperate with us to clear everything because they are also a victim of these circumstances.
Community leaders in the affected areas expressed relief, describing the exercise as timely and critical to curbing adoptions and other violent crimes that have threatened the peace in their neighborhoods.
Anytime in the evening when you pass there, people they will just come out from bush.
You get some time where we say they call attack one man for here, they kill him.
This bush that you are seeing at my back, truly that is where the attack is always coming from.
FCTA assured that the operation will be extended to other flashpoints. Hawagimba, NTA News.
The Nigeria Police Force has presented checks worth over 2.1 billion naira to the families of officers who died in active service. Francis Form reports that with tears streaming down their faces, widows, children and next of kin received the support under the Group Life Assurance and IGP Family Welfare schemes. The Inspector General of Police says the exercise is part of an unbroken pledge that the force will never abandon the families of its fallen heroes.
We know the void left by your loved ones cannot be filled by any monetary sum. Yet, these checks are a symbol of our collective gratitude and a pledge that you remain part of the Nigerian police family. Let me reaffirm with utmost clarity that the welfare of officers and men of the Nigerian Police Force, whether serving, retired, or departed, remains a cardinal priority of this administration.
Since inception, the schemes have disbursed more than 24.2 billion naira to nearly 10,000 families, a gesture described as more than a duty, but a sacred trust. A coalition of women with disabilities commends the leadership of the 10th National Assembly for explicitly including women with disabilities in the ongoing reserved seats for women bill, describing it as a landmark stride towards inclusive governance and true democracy in the country. Gufan Shaji Ugwaye reports that the coalition describes the development as a beacon of hope while demanding for a fair representation of women in governance.
The inclusion of women with disabilities should be prioritized. We are asking for 37 seats. For House of Representatives, we are asking for another 37. Then for the Houses of State Assemblies, we are asking for 108, in a total of 182 seats. And out of these 182 seats, we are asking for 5% for persons with disabilities, especially women with disabilities who are triple jeopardized.
They also noted that women constitute more than 50% of Nigeria's population, with only 5% currently occupying seats in the National Assembly. Now, as the federal government continues to play its role in providing necessary interventions for displaced persons across the country, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is seeking partnership with ASR Africa to bridge gaps and strengthen innovations. Ruth Aguele reports.
Going by reports, 6.7 million people are internally displaced across the country, a burden which continues to put a strain on humanitarian interventions. To address this challenge, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is here on a solidarity visit to seek partnership with the ASR Africa initiative to aid sustainable development and bridge gaps and reintegration of displaced persons.
We are here to solicit for your support so that we'll be able to come up with the areas of interventions.
When you look at the resources available before the Commission, it's actually very meager. However, we've been doing our best to ensure that we deliver those mandates that we've been saddled with.
We need to be able to look inwards and create solutions to our own problems. The next part of that is also our ability, and it will be impossible to create these solutions if we do not have the kind of strategic partnerships that can create synergy, pool resources, and give us the kind of impact that we expect.
Assurances are in place for both parties as they commit to work in synergy to promote inclusivity and restore hope for the vulnerable across the country. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
As Nigeria marks this year's International Day of Sign Language and celebrates the International Week of Deaf People, the deaf community is advocating strongly for recognition and legislation of Nigerian Sign Language. Gufan Shaji Ogwanye reports.
The event kicked off with a dynamic road walk where persons with disabilities celebrated and advocated for deaf rights, stressing that sign language must be recognized and promoted in education, government and society for a more inclusive Nigeria.
Nigerian Sign Language, if it is recognized in the Constitution, it will help us to bridge the gap and remove barrier in education, in employment, in health sector, in justice, and you can name it, all sectors. So the barrier will be removed and gap will be closed, and that way the deaf have access to communication, access to all essential services.
It is through sign language that they will have a sense of belonging, and government has made a kind of deliberate attempt in bringing so many policy in order to promote the issue of persons with disability.
The community of persons with disabilities also called for the integration of sign language interpreters into daily life for equal access and opportunities. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ogwanye, NTA News.
Political ideologies and good governance have been identified as key in entrenching sustainable and participatory democracy, which promotes healthy competition. This was the position of various speakers, among them academics and political class, at a public lecture in honor of renowned historian, late Yusuf Bala Usman of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Correspondent Sagir Alwal reports that the lecture was to commemorate 20 years of the demise of the university dawn.
Late Yusuf Bala Usman, an academic by excellence with many books, journals, and articles to his credit. In addition, late Bala Usman was a political colossus with a clear-cut political ideology for the emancipation of the downtrodden. While alive, he schooled a number of academics at his alma mater, the Ahmad Bello University Zaria. The late university don't command respect among political class in the country. His books remain a reference point in the academia.
His view of education is that of a functional investment in human capital development, which is anchored in the vision of building a knowledge-driven economy rather than a resource-driven one.
In addition of his outstanding contributions, friends, students, and political disciples gathered to remember him 20 years after his demise. Speakers are clear on the position of the late Bala Usman on political ideology and good governance.
The message for the participants and other Nigerians is that we should look at Bala Usman as a metaphor. Bala Usman as an idea, a generic idea that should be applied by everywhere, and for the achievement of the same objective for which he lived and fought.
Someone has been remembered not for the money that he has accumulated, not for the power that he has exercised, but for the power of the intellect. And we are very, very proud of Dr. Yusuf Bala Usman, and his legacies are all over the place in that he has developed human capacity.
The memorial lecture instituted by those who believe in his political and academic ideologies served as a platform to reinforce their commitment to the unity of this country and uphold democracy as the best form of government. From Zaria, Sagir Muhammad Awal, NTA News.
Going by the recent NIMET prediction, some parts of Port Harcourt metropolis have been ravaged by flash flood as a result of persistent rainfall, and this is creating fear among residents. Robinson Derataide, who is monitoring the situation, reports that residents are calling for urgent government intervention following the difficulties being faced in some areas.
Flooding is an annual experience in Rivers State, coming from two dimensions, which are flooding resulting from rising sea level, affecting riverine areas, particularly the Orashi region, and flash flood in parts of Port Harcourt metropolis over non-adherence to environmental regulation.
We are presently at Spring Valley Street, a link road between NTA Uzoba Road to East-West Road. As you can see, the flood has taken over the street, and for years, people living in these streets have been facing this challenge. And the reason why flash flood has become an issue in Rivers State is because of lack of respect to environmental practices.
Imagine the other day when I was going to church, a lady fell inside gutter here. I have to pick her to drop her somewhere there where she can get water to bath herself. Let government come for their rescue.
We have been passing through this flood of 18 for a very long time. We have tried our best. So we are begging, we are calling the government to come and help us.
The situation results in traffic congestion and breakdown of vehicles on major roads.
People are calling on government and citizens to respect environmental practices and ensure that the drainages are not blocked, and those who are built on natural waterways are advised to take measures to stop the flooding.
Able to make places, construct places, erect places where those persons that are affected, should begin to have their peace and stay, while they begin to look at one way or the other to ensure that this flooding does not increase.
There is a drainage the government has provided that passes through my building. I normally clear it before the rainy season, and the mid of the rainy season, I open up those drainages so that water can flow. If not, it will flood everywhere in that area. So the major concern is that we should take ownership of those facilities and take care of them.
People living around flood-prone areas are also advised to relocate now that the rains have increased. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Darateide, NTA News.
Next on our lineup is Sports Update.
The presidential election of the Shooting Federation of Nigeria has again been rescheduled to August 18, 2025, following an inconclusive election. The presidential candidates Mohammed Shetima and former President Bamidele Ayode were deadlocked after 4 successive rounds of voting. The Electoral Committee later postponed the election till Tuesday, 23rd September, but the 5th attempt also ended in a tie, with both candidates securing 6 votes each.
When the tie continued, we had to make consultations, and at the end, we came up with a new date for this same election so that the parties involved can go make wider consultations.
Now to Europe, where actions resume in the group stage of the Europa League with 9 matches on the offer. Spanish side Red Betis will welcome Nottingham Forest as Super Eagles defender Ola Aina is ruled out due to injury. Another English side, Aston Villa, will be up against Bologna at Villa Park. 2022 winners of the inaugural edition of the Europa Conference League, Roma, will tackle Nice of France. Finally, in the Carabao Cup third-round matches decided on Tuesday night, Alexander Isak opened his goal-scoring account as Liverpool left it late once again to secure a 2-1 victory over Southampton. New signing Hugo Ekitike was sent off after celebrating his late winner. Elsewhere, Chelsea came from a goal down to secure a 2-1 win over Lincoln City. Actions resumed on Wednesday as Arsenal travelled to Portsmouth in third-round clash. Huddersfield Town will entertain Manchester City while Tottenham Hotspur hosts Doncaster Rovers. With sports update, I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
And that is Nationwide. I'd like to thank you for watching. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. On behalf of the entire production crew, this is the Nigerian Television Authority. Good evening.